Saint Josephine Bakhita, that the ransomed, abused slave of Darfur, adopted and freed by an Italian family, would write, "I am definitely loved, and whatever happens to me, I am awaited by his eternal love, so my life is so very good." This doctrine of the dignity of the human person should be taught our children along with the sign of the cross itself, because it's at the very essence of our Catholic faith. I think back to my very first day as a brand new parish priest at Immaculata Parish in St. Louis. And I accompanied the renowned pastor, very saintly man, Monsignor Cornelius Flavin, on his rounds in the school, just to see how a professional would do it. And there he was with the little first graders. And he says to them, "Children, does God know who you are?" "Yes, Monsignor." "Does God know you by name?" "Yes, Monsignor." "Does God see you?" "Yes, Monsignor." "Does God see you all the time, wherever you're at, even when you think you might be all by yourself?" "Yes, Monsignor." "Why does God watch you all the time?" "To see if we're being bad," one of the children replied. "Oh, no," whispers Monsignor Flavin, "God watches you all the time because he loves you so much he can't take his eyes off of you. He loves you so much he can't take his eyes off you." Bingo! The doctrine of the dignity of the human person. Perhaps Monsignor Flavin had taught them the best catechism lesson of all. Received one of the more surprising invitations I've ever gotten in my life, namely to come to England for the 800th anniversary of the Magna Carta in 4 years. And I said to the fellow who delivered it in person after Sunday Mass at St. Patrick's, "Why would you invite me, an American, to that?" "Well," he said, "because the United States is an inheritor of the tradition begun by the Magna Carta," he replied. "Okay, but why are you inviting me, a Catholic archbishop?" I asked him. Well, he looked at me and he said, "Because the Magna Carta was composed by an archbishop, and because it flows from the teaching of the Church on human rights and justice." "It did? I'll be." See, even I have succumbed to the caricature of the Church that it had to be dragged, kicking and screaming, into the noble enterprise of defending human rights. Nonsense. You historians out there realize that some of this is due to the fact that the Church was on what the entrenched script of our textbooks would call the losing side of the Enlightenment and the French Revolution, branding the Church as opposed to liberty, equality, and fraternity. But more sober voices now conclude that the forces of the Enlightenment and of the French Revolution, when untethered to this Catholic doctrine of the dignity of the human person, are partly the cause of horrors such as the gulags, the camps, and the killing fields of the last century. Still, we got to admit, we would have been better off listening to the likes of Lacordaire, Montalembert, and Lamennais. So the stereotype continues, leading Richard John Newhouse to comment about 25 years ago that Voltaire must be rolling over in his grave, as it is now clear that the world's most dramatic defender of human rights and the dignity of the human person is the Pope of Rome and the Catholic Church. Such should hardly startle one versed in this Catholic doctrine of the dignity of the human person. Okay? A faith that has as one of its primary tenets that every individual is a reflection of the divine, that when our Heavenly Father looks upon us, he happens to see his own Son and smile, that every human life beams with the transcendent and hints at the beyond, is a faith that affirms everything that is decent, noble, and uplifting in the human drama. To put it another way, the Catholic doctrine of the dignity of the human person prompts a thumping yes to whatever affirms the truth, beauty, and goodness inherent in us and in our world. This is the Christian humanism of giants such as Erasmus and Thomas More. This is such a brilliant part of luminous Catholic universities such as this one. So, the history of the Church has been one producing the poetry of Dante and the art of a Caravaggio, the sculpture of a Michelangelo and the music of a Mozart, the research of a Mendel and the discoveries of Columbus, the charm of a Francis of Assisi, the frescoes of Giotto. The church is big time into affirming, not denouncing, raising up, not putting down, encouraging, not condemning. I understand he was just on campus, but Father Robert Barron claims in his marvelous and exciting new Catholicism series that the church is all about a yes to all that is true and beautiful and good in the human project. The church only says no to something or someone that would negate the true, the beautiful, or the good in the human person. And a no to another no is, guess what? A yes. The church, which has as a primary doctrine the dignity of the human person, is not some shrill, crabby, naysaying nag, but a warm, tender, gracious mother who invites and embraces and nurtures her children, calling forth from within them the truth, beauty, and goodness she knows is deep down there